Most engines don't die in one dramatic cloud of steam. The story usually starts quietly. A temp gauge that runs a little higher than normal, a warning light that flickers on and then disappears, or a sweet smell after you park. You top up the coolant once, maybe twice, and the car seems fine. Then one hot day, you're on the shoulder with the hood up, steam everywhere, and a repair bill that feels like it came out of nowhere. In most cases, that breakdown started months earlier with simple coolant mistakes. Today we're breaking down 5 of them, plus the basic emergency steps that experienced drivers use when the temperature needle suddenly climbs. And the first mistake is one almost everyone makes because it looks responsible on the surface. Mistake 1: treating low coolant as just top it up. Most people only think about coolant when a light shows on the dash or the tank under the hood looks low. So they open the reservoir, pour something in, close the cap and move on. The level is back where it should be, so the problem must be gone, right? The first issue is that low coolant is a clue, not the main problem. In a healthy sealed system, coolant doesn't just vanish. If the level dropped, it went somewhere. A loose clamp, a pinhole in a hose, a tiny crack in the radiator, a bad water pump seal, or in serious cases, a leak inside the engine. Topping up without asking where did it go is like adding air to a tire with a screw in it and deciding the screw doesn't matter. The second issue is what you choose to pour in. Modern coolants are mixed to raise the boiling point, lower the freezing point, and protect metal from corrosion. Filling with plain tap water or a random fluid quietly weakens that mix. Water alone boils sooner, freezes quicker, and can leave minerals and rust in the passages. So the engine might seem happier today, but you've just lowered its safety margin for tomorrow. Emergency tip: if you're stuck and truly have no choice, a small top-up with clean water to reach a safe place is better than driving with almost no coolant. But treat that as a temporary bandage. Once you're home or at a shop, the system needs a leak check and a proper refill with the right coolant. Once you start caring about what's in the system, the next mistake gets harder to ignore. Mistake 2: mixing whatever coolant is handy. The coolant shelf looks like a rainbow: green, orange, pink, blue, universal, long life, Asian, European. A lot of owners deal with that confusion by picking whatever is on sale and pouring it into whatever is already there. Different coolant formulas use different additives. Some are built around older copper and brass radiators. Others are tuned for modern aluminium blocks, plastic tanks, and specific gasket materials. Some are meant for long intervals, others are not. When you mix incompatible types, you don't just change the color. You can thin out the protective additives or create sludge that slowly clogs narrow passages in the radiator and heater core. Flow drops, hot spots form, and the engine runs closer to the edge, especially on hot days or under load. Emergency tip: the safest move is simple. Use the type and spec recommended by the manufacturer, mixed with distilled water in the right ratio. If you must add a small amount in an emergency, matching what's already in there is less risky than grabbing something random. If you have no idea what's in the system now, a full flush and refill is better than years of mystery cocktail. Even with the perfect coolant, though, there's an invisible problem that can sneak in every time the system is opened. Mistake 3: letting air pockets hide in the engine. A cooling system is designed to move liquid, not pockets of air. Anytime the system is drained or opened, a hose change, new thermostat, radiator swap, or major leak, air can get trapped in high spots. From the outside, everything can look normal. The reservoir shows the right level, the engine warms up, and the heater works. Inside, though, there can be dry areas where coolant should be flowing. Those dry spots become hot spots. Metal surrounded by air heats up much faster than metal surrounded by moving coolant. The temperature sensor might not see that area clearly, so the gauge can lag behind what's really happening. The result is strange behavior: sudden spikes on the temp gauge, overheating only on hills, gurgling sounds behind the dash, or a heater that blows cold at idle and warm only when revved. Good techs bleed air out carefully. They may use bleed screws, special funnels, or vacuum tools that pull coolant into every corner and push air out. They also recheck the level after a full cool down, because trapped air often shows up later when the engine cycles hot and cold. Emergency tip: if the car started running hot right after cooling system work, don't shrug it off as new parts settling. Watch the reservoir while the engine warms from cold, small bubbles sloshing. Noises or a heater that keeps changing temperature are signs that air, not just a bad part, is your problem. Once you see how much pressure and circulation matter, one tiny part that almost everyone ignores starts to look a lot more serious. Mistake 4. Forgetting the radiator cap controls boiling point. The radiator cap looks like a simple plug. It is. It's a pressure valve that decides how high the coolant's boiling point can go. Coolant in a sealed, pressurized system boils at a higher temperature than water in an open pot. That extra pressure gives you a wider window before liquid starts turning to steam. Steam doesn't carry heat away nearly as well as liquid, so once coolant boils inside the engine, temperatures can shoot up fast. When a cap gets weak or damaged, it may open too early or fail to seal fully. That quietly lowers system pressure and drops the boiling point. On a cool day around town, you may never notice. Add a steep hill, a trailer, or stop-and-go traffic in summer, and suddenly the needle that used to sit steady is climbing. A bad cap can also let coolant escape into the overflow and fail to pull it back as the engine cools. Over time, the system ends up low, even without obvious drips on the ground. Emergency tip: if you've checked fans, levels, and leaks and the car still runs a little hot, a fresh cap with the correct pressure rating is cheap insurance. Just respect it. Never open a pressurized system when it's hot. Wait until the engine is cool enough that hoses are only warm, not stiff and scorching, before you twist anything. Even with the right coolant, no air, and a solid cap, there's still one moment where people ruin engines. It happens when the needle suddenly climbs and panic takes over. Mistake 5. Reacting the wrong way when the gauge climbs. Most drivers never plan how they'll respond to real overheating, so when the gauge creeps toward the red, the reaction is pure stress. Some keep driving and hope the car just makes it home. Others kill the engine where they sit in traffic. A few rush to pop the hood and twist the radiator cap while steam is still hissing. All of these can turn a manageable problem into a destroyed engine or a nasty burn. A calmer plan looks like this. The moment you notice the gauge running higher than normal, treat it seriously. Turn off the AC, ease off the throttle. If you're climbing or towing, drop your speed and look for a safe exit. Turning the heater to full hot with the fan on high can help pull some heat out of the engine through the heater core. It's uncomfortable, but it can buy you a little time. If the needle keeps climbing or a warning message shows up, don't try to squeeze out just a few more miles. Get to a safe spot and stop. Let the engine idle for a minute and watch the gauge. If it doesn't start dropping, shut the engine off. At that point, the priority is protecting metal, not saving the schedule. Then wait, let everything cool down before you open anything. Popping a cap on a hot system can blast boiling coolant toward you. Only once the engine is cool should you check the reservoir level, look for leaks, or call for help. Drivers who know this routine usually walk away with a small repair instead of a full rebuild. Why some engines stay cool? On their own, none of these mistakes feel dramatic. Topping up low coolant and never asking where it went, pouring random types into the same system, letting air pockets hide after repairs, leaving a tired cap in place, or panicking when the gauge clearly says enough. But overheating usually isn't one bad moment. It's the final result of small habits repeated over time. Engines that run the right mix at the right level, with no trapped air and a healthy cap, have room to cope with heat, hills, traffic, and towing. Drivers who know what to do when the temperature rises don't turn a warning into a meltdown. The engines that suddenly overheat almost never fail out of nowhere. The clues were there in the reservoir, in the parts, and in the driver's choices. Now you know the 5 coolant mistakes that quietly set those failures in motion, and the emergency steps that can keep your engine from becoming the next one steaming on the side of the road.